What up, Buzz? You tapped in? Okay, Goose, you tapped in too? All right, Chicago, y'all tapped in? All right, boys, let's crack 'em. Feel like Mike in the fourth with the ball in my hands and I'm taking a shot. I'm the king in the madhouse on Madison, whether I make it or not. Now the crowd going crazy, they watching the play and I'm watching the clock. Got my shot in the air and the buzzer go off and I'm watching it drop. This team did things, MJ shot City 6 rings. D-Rose too big, too fast, too strong, history. And we good on that, put Jilla on the track and we good on whack. 3, 2, 1, everybody say Bulls on tap, Bulls on tap. Our city pretty and gritty, Benny the bull in the crowd getting hyper and litty. Me, I'm so drippy, it's slippery, nothing offends me. Banners on banners, we winners. We got the stats in the news, go and subscribe. Hang out with Buzzy and Goose, tapping with us, we the truth. Jilla just murdered the booth.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bulls on Tap. I'm your boy Buzz. I'm joined by my dude Goose, aka Bull Scripted, and we are here to recap a second straight Chicago Bulls victory over a plus 500 team, over a top Eastern Conference team, and over a division rival. They beat the Milwaukee Bucks tonight in pretty amazing fashion, 118-113. Before we get into this one, be sure to go on tapsportsnet.com for all Chicago sports literature and podcasting needs. Following us on Twitter at Bulls on Tap and on Tap Sportsnet. Following Goose at Bull Scripted, me at Buzz on Tap. Anywhere you can listen to podcasts, you can listen to us, 5-star rating and review, because that's cool and tough. Also, if you're on Twitter or Facebook, please go to the YouTube, on Tap Sportsnet YouTube. Subscribe, hit the bell every time we go live. You'll be notified. You can hop in the comment section with Senor here and talk that shit, because we won that game, Goose. We won that game.
Hey, I mean, at this point, does anybody want to trade Kobe White? Because I don't want to trade Kobe White. Do you want to trade Kobe White?
Right now, no. I'm on cloud 9 about Kobe White, my friend. I'm on cloud 9 about Kobe White right now.
But what does this mean for our season? We went on a slump.
Correct.
We lost multiple games in a row, and now we've taken out 2 Eastern Conference contenders. Boston, who we were slated up against most of the time leading up to the playoffs last year before we found out that we were playing Milwaukee. So we got our revenge tonight. And overall, I really don't know what this means for the season, because we keep beating good teams, but we can't win the games that we should win. So it's a very conflicting feeling right now, but I feel pretty fucking good.
Yeah, well, obviously. I mean, you're out and about for Blackout Wednesday. I'm here in the Buzz Cave. My little brother came by today. He helped me do a couple chores around this place. We just took that game in together, so I didn't have to be alone watching that one. I'll tell you what, man, to your point about us beating the good teams but losing the games that we shouldn't, that makes me feel a little bit better for some odd reason. I obviously hate dropping to teams that you're supposed to beat to improve your record, which can go into the playoffs for seeding purposes and all that. I mean, hey, a couple games could separate us from being locked into the playoffs and not having to fight for our lives in a play-in. But it does give me a little bit of hope that the Bulls are an actual legitimate contender. And I'm not trying to go, an opposite way than the other. But these 2 wins in a row were very impressive. And a big reason why I have to put is DeMar DeRozan, but another underrated reason why is Zach LaVine's activity on defense.
Now, there were a few possessions tonight where you saw Zach get swapped onto Giannis. Very active hands, very tall. Not that you can be tall enough to defend Giannis, but being put in those situations is encouraging. And we also saw in the fourth quarter, with Zach being benched 2 games ago, he had a lot of on-ball responsibility to bring the ball up tonight, which has got to be encouraging for him in his role in that closing spot. So I kind of have to commend Billy in the sense that he realized that maybe he may have made a mistake, whether it was a mutual disagreement, agree to disagree situation. It has been remedied. It has been approached in a different way. And despite Zach not even scoring 20 tonight, it did feel like he was active and effective on both ends of the floor. So if that's what it takes to keep your star player engaged, hopefully we get similar trends to close the games going forward, because there were a few moments where I was a little concerned with Zach bringing the ball across half court.
Yeah, I was too. I was also, especially perimeter defense out of him for a little bit too. He got cooked by Grayson Allen, but at moments that made sense, right? Obviously, we wanted 100% of the time. You know, we both know we're not going to get that out of a guy who considers himself a dynamic scorer. But times that he was cooked or he felt he was wronged on the offensive end, he really went back on the defensive end and gave it a A+ effort. And I appreciate shit like that because it just shows the defense, okay, maybe he is going to try to active hands me or put his body on, use his strength against me, So I liked what I saw out of him just all around. I know he was minus 13 in the plus minus, but again, a lot, I only use that when it fits my narrative. And, but I saw a lot of good out of Zach. Vooch's 2 big shots in the fourth quarter. I mean, you're at a bar. Did that place explode for those?
Unfortunately, I was the only one exploding. It was a little awkward. I'm throwing fists up in the air. I'm clapping. I'm chanting. I'm yelling. And I'm the only one in the bar that seems to give a shit. But that's fine. Because being fully entrenched in this game in a live atmosphere was definitely more fun than being at home. Being locked in with a contender and being this close. Getting a little salty when we blew that 10-point lead in the fourth rather
100%.
Quickly.
Yes, sir.
And then still pulling this out. No, I was the only one getting loud and live here, but Vooch's shots. And I think this kind of goes back to the playoffs, despite his overall percentages. When it comes to meaning something, this man puts it in the hole. And he was like 4 feet, 5 feet behind the line. That
on the top
at the end of the game tonight, at the top of the key.
Yeah,
that man was deep.
He bailed DeMar DeRozan out there, who kind of looked like, oh shit, what do I do after he spun off the opposite way to go for his fader? It just wasn't there. And Vooch bailed him out of that.
DeMar gave him about 3 or 4 good moves, then realized he was a little bit further out of his zone than he would like to be and passed out, and Vooch bailed him out.
Yeah, big time.
And back to the playoff series with Milwaukee. We had Vooch coming in clutch down the stretch. So as much as fans like to get on him for his 3-point shooting percentage, I do think it is worth mentioning that when it comes to clutch points, when those threes matter, that man is pretty on point and up to the challenge.
Yeah, he put him in. He shot 40% tonight. And I'll take that out of Vooch all season long, Goose. I'm sure you would too. I felt Pat played a pretty good game tonight. I felt like the whole team collectively just played a good game tonight. There were some runs here and there, but when they went down early, they fought back. Again, it goes back to last episode when I said when I was telling you that I felt like they played for each other. Hell yeah, I felt they played for each other. So
do you think that comes back to Billy's benching and the response to Zach?
100%.
Is this the team rallying behind their max player, somebody they do see as a leader?
I really, you know what? I don't know about that, but I do. I would hope so. Honestly, yeah, I would hope so, and maybe it is. I'm just really happy. What's up, man?
Hello.
What's going on? Did you watch the Bulls win?
I watched the Bulls win.
All right. Woo!
Hey.
It's getting hot in here. It's getting hot at Bulls and Tap right now. What's going on around here? What the fuck were we talking about? I've been drinking.
Oh, you got distracted, did you?
I did. I don't know that person. I didn't sign on for a co-host.
Sorry. I brought a few stragglers along with me to the bar.
Hey, might as well. It's Blackout Wednesday. Grab a couple beers. In your case tonight, what is it? Oh God, we got Senor.
It's Weed Wednesday. We probably did about $200,000 at the shop today. So
there we go. You can't beat it. But yes, I do agree that maybe Zach's benching had something to do with this. And if they're rallying around their teammate, I think that's fucking fantastic.
No, I mean, to see the team respond to the situation the way that they have, to take out 2 Eastern Conference contenders, legitimate championship contending teams, really does make you want to feel that the shift is in place. Like something is clicking currently. Whether that was Billy's egregious decision to bench Zach and the team's response to that, whatever it may be, to respond the way that they have is encouraging. And it makes me feel different about the season because it's like, all right, when you get up for the games that you have to get up for, you can do the thing. And at the end of the season, that's the kind of shit that matters. So to see us kind of get a little bit more healthy, get Kobe back, see him play a very clutch role in closing this game with those threes.
He's getting my game ball tonight, Goose. I know DeMar went off, but I mean, I'm kind of accustomed to that. I know it sounds kind of weird as a fan to say that.
If we were in the locker room, I promise you, DeMar is looking at Kobe White and going, dude, you get this ball.
Those 2 threes in the fourth quarter were absolutely massive to seal that game up.
The biggest clutch shots of the game, maybe outside of that Vooch extended top of the key 3.
Yeah.
And obviously that 3 came in between Kobe's, so they all kind of added up together. But just to see Kobe come back from injury, where we were questioning whether it was a real injury or if he was just being forced out of the rotation, to see him come back in his second game and do something that impactful is something this team needs, because we sorely need shooting. And outside of Zach, without Zoe coming back, Kobe is really the only place that you're going to find that heater where you can get 3+ through like 8 threes on a night, and the dude can do it. And you literally just have to feed into his confidence and let him know what his role is, and Kobe will be cooking.
Absolutely. And, you know, man, I feel good about this for a couple reasons. The main reason is our bench is so dynamic. Kobe comes in and does what he did tonight. Our bench guards, at least I should say, are dynamic. It was pretty fantastic what Kobe was able to do on a night that Dragic, who arguably is the leader of the bench units besides Caruso, being out with that shoulder injury, what Kobe came in and did was absolutely huge. And DeMar was just DeMar. Hit a couple more threes. He went 2 for 3 tonight, Goose. 14 for 24, 36, 8, and 4 for him, man. He was amazing, but I still got to give the game ball to Kobe. He was amazing. I still give the game ball to Kobe.
Unfortunately, when it comes to expectations, this is kind of what you expect from DeMar on the nightly at this point, and that's probably unfair given his age and status. But he does it continuously, and he shows up every night. But at the end of the day, because you don't expect it from Kobe, and he hit the 2 probably most clutch shots of the night, there's nobody that deserves that ball more than Kobe in my mind.
Yeah. And the guy that he can maybe fight with it over a little bit too, outside of the starting lineup, is, again, the bench just did so great in general. But Alex Caruso didn't score a point tonight, Goose. He's plus 14. Pretty awesome shit. Great defense he played. Drew 2 offensive fouls. Him and Javonte off the bench were absolutely fantastic.
Having that option,
I'm over the moon about the performance, really.
Having that option of having those 2 guys to bring the energy off the bench really can just change the game. And it's dumbfounding in a way that Javonte hasn't found his way to the starting lineup, despite Pat's somewhat inconsistent consistency and improving on his game.
Yeah, it's a perfect way to put it. Yeah.
He's consistently inconsistent.
Right.
Just when you're ready to give up on him, he gives you another game that makes you feel like, all right, maybe this dude does have it.
Right.
I see why Billy's giving him the nod.
That stuff of Giannis in the first quarter was pretty dope, man.
Did you catch the replay of Kostas on the bench kind of disagreeing with the call on his brother, and then Milwaukee switching the camera to the other brother? Just
he needs to be gone right away.
You a beast! You a beast! And you got the other brother talking to his teammates like, nah, that wasn't a foul. That was bullshit. And then they're all just taking happy pictures after the game. Like, oh, it's all good now.
Unreal shit, man. Yeah, but Javonte, I don't know, man. 4 for 5 for him, 2 for 3 from downtown, 11 points, 3 boards, 1 assist, 1 steal, 2 blocks for Javonte. It was just an
I feel like
all-around fun Bulls game.
Any night that dude hits over 50% of his threes, we're winning. Because that is our weak point, and he's our energy guy, and if he's left alone and he hits the shots that he's supposed to, we win games. Point blank, period.
No, 100%, man. 100%. I really enjoyed tonight's game. It was fun all around. The Bulls getting a big win like that as they're going on this road trip that is tough is just absolutely fucking paramount to future success. And I really hope they get to, experience some of that success, because their next game, Goose, is against Oklahoma City, and they've got SGA over there who's been fucking balling. And if you remember the last meeting between SGA and fucking Zach LaVine, Zach shut him down a little bit. not shut him down, but he really took that matchup seriously. So I want to see some cool shit on Friday night out of Zach against SGA. That's a big matchup.
So that's your spotlight for the next game is going to be the matchup with SGA and Zach.
Yeah, 100%.
See if he responds offensively as well as defensively. And hopefully the team just doesn't come into the game and take it as a game for granted. Because we've seen it the last 2 games against contenders. They've came prepared, didn't really have slow starts, didn't get out the gate too slow where they're putting themselves in the hole that they can't fight out of.
Yeah.
So hopefully after these 2 games, the team has kind of just accepted the fact that they ain't the ones. You're not allowed to take a night off. This is full go all the time. You have to treat every game like you're playing Milwaukee or Boston. And hopefully we get similar results because tonight was definitely a lot of fun to watch. The game was close throughout, outside of blowing that 10-point lead in the 4th where shit got a little sketchy. It was a really fun, entertaining game to watch all around.
Yeah, I think the most important part about this, too, is Milwaukee did not play a bad game.
No,
I just want to point that out because we in our last episode, we did talk about how Boston did not play a great game.
They did not play up to their part.
Right.
For their 3-point shooting, what they put up and what they put down did not match up with what you're going to see throughout the rest of the year.
Right. I felt Milwaukee played a good one tonight.
Correct. If we hadn't beaten Boston previously, definitely would have taken that game with a grain of salt, as opposed to taking 2 from them and feeling a little bit more confident about that matchup and possibly something just being there that isn't there with these other matchups with teams where Vooch actually has an advantage on the block and our somewhat lacking center position actually has an advantage against that team where that's not something we often have. Tonight doesn't feel like it's sympathy. You earned this. This was a good game against a good team, and they played up to par, and you stole one in their building nonetheless.
Yeah, which is fucking amazing in itself. I mean, I know there's a ton of Bulls fans there, but going on the road and how the season's kind of gone so far, I feel like this is these last 2 wins are very important wins. And I mean, what I mean by that is I do believe that morale and confidence exists in sports, even within the NBA with how much talent exists in that world. But those 2 things that I just mentioned could really turn a season around. And that's what I'm hoping kind of happens here. I hope this is like that first wake up call of, hey, we really need to be on. Like you said, we have to do this every night. We can't coast. There's no coasting.
There's no coasting. You can't hang on the lulls of last year where you were just taking care of business and struggling against good teams. You have to get up every night. Every night is a game. Everybody's a pro. Every team has talent. And as Bulls fans, we know all too well, players like Furkan Korkmaz can just appear
fucking torch you,
and destroy your night. So you got to come prepped every night, regardless whether it's OKC or the Milwaukee Bucks. So hopefully the Bulls take the same approach in the next game.
Right, absolutely. Well, man, I know you're out and about and you're having a great Blackout Wednesday. You got anything else you'd like to say to everybody before we get out of here?
No, other than addressing the comment that compared me to a porn star, no, I really don't have much else.
That's Mick Blue, baby. I'm not even sure who that is, but Jim's certain about it, and I trust my boy Jim. He knows what the fuck he's talking about when it comes to that life. You've also upset Chai Sports Fan because you're not on your piano. So way to make our buddies upset.
I'm sorry, Chai Sports. I know the sun is no longer out. I'm in the middle of the night. And I don't have a beautiful piano to look at, but, I'm just being a little more honest tonight. I'm just out at the bar, having a good time.
Yeah, I'm going to play Call of Duty because I'm a father of 3 and I don't go anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I didn't go out to the bar for about 5 years. Starting the relationship, and it's a little different.
I feel you, my friend. I feel you. Well, everybody, we hope you have a great Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving from us to you. We will be back Friday because what the fuck else are we going to do? We're going to be back Friday after the Bulls take on the Oklahoma City Thunder. So be sure you're going on tapsportsnet.com for all your Chicago sports literature and podcasting needs. Following us on Twitter, you already know where to do that. Go to YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel, all that good stuff. We'll be back Friday after the Bulls take on the Thunder. Let's go Bulls and happy Thanksgiving.